Well, Villa turned their season around last year with a win over Liverpool back in March. It kick-started a run of 5 straight victories as they shot up the table. But it is the only time that they've beaten Liverpool here in their last 4 WSL meetings. And the Reds have won on their last 2 visits here as well. As Women's Super League fixtures go, Frank Kirby, this one perhaps is a tough one to call, although Rachel Daly with an early chance, and she's made it count too. Well, Liverpool caught cold right at the start of this game, and Rachel Daly's had to wait 10 games for her first goal of the season in the league, but she won't get an earlier finish than that.
It's a great start for Aston Villa. I mean, I think there was 2 mistakes. Well, I mean, you see a player slip there, ball goes through, and there's just a muddle in the final third there between the players. The slip there from Jenna Clark, and then here, Gemma Evans, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. If you don't think your goalkeeper's going to get there, you just have to take it and kick it out for a corner or do something with it, because with Rachel Daly lurking, the ball's going to end up in the back of the net if you make any mistake. Just there, I think she's just got to take it and just clear the ball.
Well, for all of their hard work this season, Liverpool, they've tried to make themselves difficult to break down. They've tried to shore up the back line. They've switched to a back 4 this evening. Not sure whether it was the change in formation, the lack of communication, whatever it might be back there causing the issues. But now they have a mountain to climb after just a minute of this game. It might get even worse for them here as Aston Villa continue to break forward. Daly, the goal scorer, looking deep, and that one's going to be an easy claim there for Faye Kirby.
Yeah, they just can't let it rattle them so early on. I mean, it's really disappointing to concede so early, but you just have to keep yourself in the game, keep building into the game, because, you know, it's only been 1 minute, 2 minutes played. So, you know, there's still obviously a lot of time left in the game, but they can't go 2-0 down so early. They've got to try and stick in the game, be composed on the ball, and obviously there you see a turnover, and that's what Villa want. They want the transition. They want you to lose the ball there.
It's an interesting matchup between these 2 sides. Neither of them have actually come from a goal behind to win a game in the WSL this season. Gareth Taylor, of course, still waiting for his first BWSL win as head coach of Liverpool. This is game number 10 for him. Liverpool have actually lost 7 of the 8 games in which they've gone a goal behind this season, drawing on the other occasion. I suppose the only positive to going behind so early in the game, Fran, is you get more time to try to rally and get that comeback. Yeah,
definitely. And look, we know that Liverpool want to play a certain style of football, so I don't think that they will change it just because they're chasing a game. But you know, you have to start building into the game and not making too many mistakes now on the ball, especially against a team like Villa, because of their transition, because of the pace that they have. They have to be really tidy, and they've got the players to do it. They just need to make sure that they don't stress now in the final third and think, right, okay, every time we go into the final third, we've got to go to goal. You can still be composed, still be calm, and keep building your way forward.
Here's Leanne Kiernan, the only alteration for Gareth Taylor's Liverpool from Saturday, which was a very physically demanding game at the Emirates. Kiernan actually did look in a bit of discomfort during the pre-match warm-up. There was a slight concern perhaps that she may have had to pull out of the starting 11, but she has been given the nod. She has passed that particular fitness test. She is a live wire forward on this near side, and part of Gareth Taylor's intention to get his side on the front foot much more and hopefully work Sabrina D'Angelo in goal for Aston Villa. Harry heads clear. And here's Olsen, who was so clinical in North London on the weekend, finding Kiernan. Patton in the way, and then it's helped clear as well by Rachel Maltby, still just 18 years old, starting for the 6th time this season in the BWSL. Nagano. Enderby losing out, and Daly can slide in.
This is where I think sometimes when you play with wing-backs, when they get stuck so low, you see Chastity Grant there, she's so low when Rachel Daly wins the ball, there's no outlet for them. But when they play with wingers, they've got that outlet to go forward. So hopefully they don't get stuck in that back five and then they don't have any outball, because they're so fast when they go in that transition.
Capox peeling wide, very much playing as Liverpool's number 10 this evening. Kiernan can get to the byline and win her side the first corner kick of this game. Well defended in the end by Rachel Maltby. So Lily Woodham up from the back to swing this ball into the penalty area. Already has 2 WSL assists to her name this season. How much quality she puts on this delivery. Away by Parker. Woodham can try to tease that one back in. It's Grant who emerges with possession. Here's Lucy Parry. Daly takes it away from McLean in midfield and can bring Grant into play on that far side. Here's Hansen, who's been in brilliant form of late, scoring in 3 goals in her last game, I should say. Natalia Arroyo enjoying her second season, I should say, in the WSL. It's only her 21st game in this competition, looking for her 8th WSL win as Aston Villa manager. Of course, it was a really tough introduction to the English top flight for her, losing her first 5. Then that kick-started a really, really impressive run towards the back end of last season, which propelled Villa up the table. As you can see, despite the score in the top left of your screen, Aston Villa leading by a goal to 0, but it's been Liverpool who have seen the fair share of the ball so far.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a theme of the night. I think the way that Liverpool want to play, the possession style, but Aston Villa, the way that they go forward, they only need a few chances.
They might have one here. It's Maltby, away by Clark. We know that Gareth Taylor's side like to build from the back. They like to get their passes in as well. Average a huge number every game. Having Kiernan back in the starting 11, I suppose, is a way of giving them much more of an outball in those wide areas.
Yeah, definitely. She gives them something different. I think the pace that she has, the way that she wants to run in behind, she can link as well, and she'll win her team free kicks because of her pace as well. So, yeah, she's definitely a good addition to have back into the team for them. But, you know, it's difficult when you're playing a certain style of play, because she's probably one that wants the ball to go in behind rather than to feet more. But, you know, she's someone who can be dangerous, and she's a really good finisher as well.
Here's Taylor playing against her former team. Parry loses out. Hijikata finding Hansen. The two of them are going to be combining throughout. Rachel Daly operating just behind them. She's the one applying the press there on Gemma Evans. Enderby beaten to it by Anna Patton. Of course, this fixture was originally due to be played back in September, but was postponed following the tragic death of Matt Beard, an icon who had such a big impact on so many people within the women's game, yourself included, Fran.
Yeah, Matt was an absolutely diamond of a person. I mean, you know, when you think about women's football and you think about how far it's come, it's because of people like Matt, in terms of you know, the volunteer work that he did for the women's game, the way that he helped grow the game. I'm sure he helped so many other managers who were working in women's football at the time. And also, you know, being successful, taking Liverpool, winning the league with them, winning the WSL 2 to bring them back into this league. So, you know, he was just an absolute diamond of a guy and a really, really good guy to be around. And yeah, I mean, it was really, really awful circumstances in terms of losing him, but I'm sure that everyone alongside me will know what a great person he was and what a great manager he was as well.
His legacy will certainly live on as Liverpool try to force the situation here. One overhit from the left-hand side. Lily Woodham trying to join the attack.
I don't think she needed to cross there. I think she can just hold the ball a little bit more. She's only really got one player to aim for in the box. I think she can drive a little bit more, take the ball down lower, come back and keep playing and keep it in the Villa's defensive half. I don't think she needs to rush that cross in there.
Well, this is yet another concern for Gareth Taylor and his injury-stricken side. So all the medical checks will be made on field. If it is a head injury, which is what those pictures suggest, then there are various protocols that the medical team need to go through.
She must have got a whack on the nose or something.
She made her first WSL start of the season last time out. Lucy Parry against Arsenal. She lasted the best part of an hour. It's a player who is getting her match fitness back up. It looks as though she'll be okay to continue, thankfully. But it's her Liverpool side who were immediately put on the back foot by first goal of the season from Rachel Daly, Villa's inspirational captain. Pattern looks long. Away by Clark. Clark again, who was an absolute colossus in that defeat at the Emirates to Arsenal. One of those players who made so many clearances. She has started off a Liverpool attack here as they work their way down the left-hand side. Here's Capox coming a bit more central.
It's really nice play from Liverpool there. The way that they one touch round the corner, really, really nice play.
Grant will get there ahead of Woodham. There have been a couple of occasions Liverpool have favoured that early cross into the box. Just the Atta Olsen inside as the target. But already just a couple of overhit crosses, a couple that have come off the side of the boot as well.
Yeah, I don't think they need to do it so early. I think they do so well in their build-up and the way that they play through the thirds. They can take that confidence into going into the final third as well.
This time it's Villa who were keen to play out from the back, as you saw the passing stats come up, and Liverpool, no surprise to see they've completed more. She's put under a lot of pressure here, Miri Taylor.
She gets away with one there, I think. If she had lost that one in the first instance, I think they would have been in trouble.
Not sure, when you are a central midfielder and you receive the ball on the edge of your penalty area, you do have players pressing you. I don't think you're going to be saying the kindest words back to your goalkeeper. But it is the way that Arroyo wants her side to play this evening, trying to match Liverpool's passing approach. It's a nice flick round the corner by Noelle Maritz, and away it goes, Chastity Grant.
She went too early.
Just couldn't hold her run.
Yeah, it's clever play there. It's clever play on the outside there. I don't think Lily Woodham needs to jump it. I think she's a little bit too late. She needs to just hold and just try and delay them coming forward. I think as soon as you jump, you make the decision for the opposition. She just left herself exposed on that side. But yeah, Chastity Grant, she doesn't need to go so early. She's so much faster. She can just hold her run that little extra second.
Comfortably done by Villa's back line. Again, it's those passes through the middle that seem to be catching Liverpool out. Here's Maltby. Plenty of space for Hijikata to turn and charge towards the Liverpool penalty area. Hansen, great ball in, and Daly couldn't direct that one on target. She was offside anyway.
It's really good play. I would have liked to see the switch go out to Chastity Grant. I think she was open. I don't know if she could have got here. Go inside. I think Chastity Grant was completely free on the other side, but I mean, it's a great ball in here from Kirsty Hansen. You just put it into a dangerous area. You know Rachel Daly is going to be attacking it, and it's a difficult one for the defender and the goalkeeper. Do I take it? Do you take it? So yeah, it's a really good play, and then obviously Rachel Daly being offside at the end there.
Prior to kick-off this evening, Rachel Daly's only goal this season came against Bristol City in the Subway Women's League Cup, during a 3-0 win. It's been given straight back to Villa again, and Liverpool breathe a sigh of relief. They are playing an incredibly dangerous game in and around their penalty area.
Yeah, you can see the high press. You know the high press is coming. They've been doing it the whole time so far. Sometimes you just have to skip it. You know that they're coming in, you know the pace that they have, you know that they want to put you under pressure. Sometimes you have to just find that out pass. Yes, Liverpool want to play a certain way, but you're playing into the opposition, you're playing into what they want. You have to skip it sometimes.
How does that instruction go on the pitch though, Fran? I mean, you'll know as a player, is that something that comes from the manager? Is that something that's decided by the group?
I think sometimes you have to take that accountability yourself in terms of what's working, what's not working. Yes, the manager gives you the tactics, they give you what to say, but you're out there, you're the one feeling it, you're the one that knows what the pressure is, where are they showing you? And sometimes you just have to take that decision by yourself and just go with it. And then yes, maybe the manager will say something to you after the game, but you have to go with what you feel in the moment.
Just saw a brilliant example there of the sweeping counter-attacks that Aston Villa can do. One-touch passing down this left-hand side. As Fran says, it does just require someone either on the pitch or in the dugout for Liverpool to just try to find a way of disrupting Villa when they get those passes together. It's about being flexible as well. It's fine having a philosophy, Fran. You need to be able to adapt and react.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing we know about Gareth Taylor is he's all about philosophy. He's all about playing a style of play, and he doesn't like to change it, but sometimes you have to go with what the game's telling you, and Aston Villa would have seen what they do and they would have gone, right, okay, let's get after them, let's be really, really aggressive.
Speaking of which, it was Maltby who was on an adventurous run of her own on the left-hand side. This will be retrieved by Lucy Parker. His only previous appearance this season came from the bench for the final 21 minutes against Arsenal, wherein she scored a 94th minute equaliser.
Yeah, she's a good player to have back in. She's the ultimate professional, you know, she does everything possible to keep herself on the pitch, and unfortunately she's had a bit of a rough time with injuries, but you can see what she brings. She's definitely got a presence for Villa in the back line there, and you can see that, you know, having her back in the team will definitely steady them. She knows what it takes. She's been involved in the England setup. She's played at Villa now for a couple of seasons, so she's definitely someone that they want to keep on the grass. They want to keep her fit because she does have a presence in this team.
Formed a really impressive partnership last season as well with Anna Patten. Two of them reunited at the heart of this Villa defence this evening. Is D'Angelo. Has been a near ever presence in the BWSL for Aston Villa this season.
It's been a couple of times now where the ball's gone straight through into either it's the number 9 with Daly coming lower or the 10s, and Liverpool defenders not step with them and they have time to turn, they have a chance to play forward. I think Liverpool need to try and work a way that they can screen that pass, or someone's got to go in, because if you keep giving Villa the time there to turn and play forward, that's where they're going to hurt you.
It was quite notable when they played with a back 5 almost against Arsenal on Saturday. They were allowing one of those 3 centre-backs to step in and try to win the ball back a bit higher up the pitch.
You can do that when you have more cover behind you, but I think in this game, especially with the players that they have, that they can turn, and then as soon as they turn and they play that first pass forward, the pace that they have, you can't allow the player to turn in there because they're straight on your back line, and then you're retreating all the way back, and then your distances between the defence and the attack just gets way too big, and then you're covering way too much space, and you can't do it against a team when they can transition the way they do.
As you can see, Liverpool's tactical tweak to get them a bit further downfield and perhaps pose a few more issues in the opposition box hasn't quite paid off after 22 minutes this evening. Aston Villa by far looking the bigger threat, and they have a goal to show for it too. Once again, it's another risky pass.
You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to lure the press so they can play it to the player who's free. But you can't play them passes without recognising what else is happening, who's jumping, who's waiting for it. I think now with the WSL, the way teams play, they're waiting for these opportunities to jump. So you have to see that as it's happening, because you can do it all you want in training, but you need to be able to see them corners so you can see, okay, if I'm going to play it to there, who's going to jump to her? And this is where Liverpool are getting caught out at the moment, and they're just turning the ball over a little bit too cheaply in the middle.
Well, it almost suits Aston Villa at the moment for Liverpool to play with the ball inside their own final third. And that is why the Villains aren't too keen to press when the likes of Gemma Evans have it here, because she'll just give it straight back to the hosts. This time the intended pass was blocked, and we get a rare sighting of Beata Olsen. He bundled her way through and then was pulled back by Patten. So free kick to Liverpool and a chance to send those two players from the back forward.
Yeah, it was both teams there just turning the ball over really sloppily, and then Liverpool weren't set up for if they had lost the ball in that moment. And yeah, it's a foul. You can't pull someone back, but she gets a bit lucky on the ricochet, comes back to her. And a yellow card as well for the pullback. But I think if the player goes through, she goes through, and she's on the other back line. So yeah, I think it's correct to get a yellow card.
An early Christmas card for Anna Patten. And a bit of defensive respite for Liverpool, who, as mentioned, can send forward the towering figure of Jenna Clark. Held in deep, looking for Clark. It was met by Daly. And Villa get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you could see they were aiming at Clark there. You could see the blocker who was starting offside, who tried to block the run, but Rachel Daly did well to get back in and win that header. But you can see, obviously, tallest player on the pitch, you're gonna aim for Jenna Clark. So it's clear to Aston Villa as well, where the blocker stands, who she's going to be blocking.
Good to have a forward as well who can be effective in both boxes. It was never really your remit, was it, Fran?
Hey, I'm great at heading the ball. Thank you very much. No, I wouldn't have liked to be put in that position, that's for sure.
This time intercepted on that far side by Mia Enderby, who has been showing plenty more attacking promise this season. Gareth Taylor very keen for her to add to her outputs. It's her 10th appearance in the league. Still without a goal contribution for Liverpool. Can never fault her efforts and her work rate on the left-hand side, that's for sure.
Yeah, she definitely has character when she plays. She's got a lot of pace. She's technically very good, and I think, like Gareth Taylor said, you want them players now who are starting to come into the team a little bit more, to start contributing a little bit more of goals and assists, because of course we always want players who will work hard, who will do that, you know, the dirty work, who will link, but you also want them to contribute. And as a winger, especially in a team that's not maybe scoring as many goals, you need them to start stepping up.
Grant finds Hansen, that's a brilliant pull back. Now Taylor, all of a sudden, the Liverpool players are back in their defensive structure and blocking the route through to goal. So, oh, that one's loose. Olsen very nearly capitalising on a sloppy back pass, this time by Lucy Parker. And Sabrina D'Angelo had a brilliant starting position. She needed to as well.
Yeah, just looked again, a bit of lapse of concentration, a bit of communication not happening. Was the pass to Anna Patton, was the pass to D'Angelo? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think anyone really knows, but it's good from D'Angelo. She was ready, she was waiting for it, and she was able to get there.
Well, perhaps a touch of rustiness creeping into Lucy Parker's game there. Just their second appearance in the league this season. Struggles with injury, that one's been flicked on. Here goes Grant, Hansen ahead of her. That's a great ball for Hansen, who continues her red-hot form in front of goal.
Yeah, it's a great play, a great flick there from Rachel Daly. If she gets a touch, I'm not sure, but she draws the defender in with us, and then Chastity Grant, she's through on the back line. The pace that she has, it's a great pass as well into Kirsty Hansen. She could have definitely overhit that and it had gone closer to the goalkeeper, but it's perfect, and it's a great finish as well from Kirsty Hansen. She's found the back of the net, but here, great pass in. She doesn't touch it, but she means to. But I mean, she's done her job. I don't know why Lily Woodham's gone in there. I think she should just let the centre-back go in with Rachel Daly, because she opens up that space. As soon as she comes in, she leaves her player there, and then that's why she's got on the back line. But it's a great piece of play, great pass. Kirsty Hansen, great finish.
It makes it 4 goals in her last 5 BWSL outings against Liverpool for Kirsty Hansen. She is the ever-present thorn in the red side. And that will certainly mount the pressure on the travelling Reds.
Yeah, it puts them a little bit more comfortable now, Aston Villa, but I mean, defensively, it's the 2 goals, I think both of them have definitely been preventable, so I think Liverpool will be really disappointed with the 2 goals that they have conceded.
It's interesting, Fran, you highlighted Chastity Grant as the player to watch for Villa ahead of kick-off. It was her assist there. She's definitely playing in a much more advanced role than perhaps we expected when we saw the lineups.
Yeah, definitely. She's obviously been given a licence, especially when Villa have the ball to push on and go forward. And Yeah, I mean, it's really clever play. She's seen Rachel Daly come in short, so she's known that she has to stretch the play. And when you get her in them positions, and like I said, I think Lily Woodham, she definitely doesn't need to come in. She can just stay out with Chastity Grant and let Gemma Evans deal with Rachel Daly, because as soon as she leaves that, if that ball gets through, Chastity Grant is completely clear and can just do basically what she wants. She could have even drove in towards goal there. She didn't need to pass, but obviously made the right decision. But I think, you know, both goals for Liverpool, it's just a little bit of lapse in concentration, which has led to both goals going in. But yeah, I mean, as soon as you see Chastity Grant there, you know that she's got the pace to get away.
Incredibly selfless play by their Dutch winger. And with half an hour on the clock here at Villa Park, it is turning into a rather bleak evening for Liverpool. They have shown a real improvement in their form recently, Liverpool. Draws against Brighton, Chelsea. They won in the Subway Women's League Cup after that as well, beating Sheffield United by 4-1. It was a narrow defeat to Arsenal last time out, and you felt as though they were starting to gain a bit of momentum. Those building blocks have been put into place, but this evening they've been undone. A mistake on their own part, and then for the second just now, getting overrun by this rapid Villa front line.
Yeah, it's different games, isn't it? You can see against Liverpool when they played against Arsenal, they went into that back five. They're not expecting to get much from it in terms of the way they play. They're looking to be more really difficult to beat, hard to beat, in a low block. Then as soon as you kind of open and you become more expansive, especially when, you know, you're looking at the likes of going to Aston Villa, they want to try and get something from the game. You change tactically, you change the formation, it changes everything that you do, and it changes maybe what you've been really good at in that game, and you just open the spaces now for Aston Villa to basically do what they are good at, and that's the transition, that's the runs in behind.
Gareth Taylor did speak ahead of this game, said that it wasn't ideal timing due to the recovery times, having already travelled down to London earlier in the week. They've got this trip to Birmingham, and then they're back down to the capital once more for a must-win fixture against West Ham United on Sunday. And with such a thin squad at the moment, it is incredibly difficult for any of those players to fully get the rest and recovery and rotation that they need to be able to compete at the highest level. I guess we shouldn't play that down, the number of injuries that they have had this season, Liverpool.
Yeah, it's never good. It's never good when you get few injuries and you don't have the largest squad, because then you're relying on young players coming into the team to be in the training sessions. It's always difficult to go through that period. I think every team probably goes through it throughout the season. You have 1 or 2 injuries, 3 or 4 injuries. So, you know, it's difficult for these teams, especially playing midweek and then having to travel, like you say. But, you know, I think for Liverpool now, they have to really try and focus and try and get back into this game. But, of course, the game against West Ham is an absolute must-win if they lose tonight.
Can they find a reaction before we go to the interval? Again, it's all looking rather static ahead of Faye Kirby in the Liverpool goal. You can see from Aston Villa how they're setting up. They want the goalkeeper to try to play out. They've already profited from it once. They very nearly profited a second time through Hijikata. This time McLean does much better. Nagano, slightly bereft of options. Enderby has come short.
Oh, it's the right idea. It's the right idea. The space is there. I do think she can be a little bit more composed, but it's the right idea. I think if Enderby had kept going, maybe she would have been in there, but she didn't quite read it. But it was very close there for them to lose the ball again, Aston Villa, in that area. I think the straight pass, when you don't have an option out, is a really difficult pass to deal with. And I think Faye Kirby can be just a little bit, I know, people back home would be like she's just standing on the ball, but you have to wait for things to happen around you. You have to wait for an Aston Villa player to jump out, and then you'll get the space. But to play a player under pressure like that with her back, she can't see what's happening, it's always difficult to deal with, but she does really well to get out of it.
Player who is really starting to settle into that midfield role, Kirsty McLean. As Wooden brings it forward. McLean back for Nagano, now out for Parry. And here's Kiernan. Up against Maltby. She backs herself too, Kiernan, can get to the byline, but the Republic of Ireland's international's cross is quite easily gathered by Sabrina D'Angelo. On back by McLean. Here's Enderby. Daly once more in the way. And away comes Grant. Daly has Hansen ahead of her. Grant powering forward too.
I think she can hold on to it a little bit longer. Chastity Grant was making a great run if she just held it. Didn't have to go towards goal straight away. You've broken the line. Just wait for your players to come up with you. I don't think she needed to cross there, especially with the state of the game. Hold the ball, see what you can bring up with you.
And behind goes Beata Olsen way too early. And that will be probably one of the easier decisions the officials will have to make this evening.
I don't mind it though. I don't mind the running behind. You need to push Aston Villa back a little bit, even though she's offside and she's gone too early. They need to do that more. They need to cause Anna Patton and Lucy Parker to be looking over their shoulders. Where is she? Where is she? Need to stress them a little bit more. And if you can do that by playing behind them, then you know they're going to drop lower and lower. So then you have the space to play.
Of course, they need to give her service as well. Beata Olsen, 7 goals in her last 5 games across all competitions, including a hat-trick against Sheffield United in the Subway Women's League Cup before the international break. She has actually scored in each of the last 4 WSL games in which she started. So far this evening, has been little more than a bystander, with Aston Villa enjoying the lion's share of the ball inside Liverpool's half.
I mean, what we have seen from her is that she doesn't need many opportunities. She can go through 1v1 and be really cool, calm and composed, and can put the ball in the back of the net. So as much as obviously the game is 2-0 and the game is probably going away from Liverpool a little bit, we all know that if she gets a chance, she's composed enough to put it in.
Showed that in the capital on the weekend. Able to level things up against the Gunners. Parry. Better off the ball movement from Capox there, running through. She is the only other Liverpool player, incidentally, to have scored in this competition this season, along with Olsen. Here's Woodham. Back with McLean and Nagano. Liverpool looking more confident in the build-up. Nice turn by Capox, who went for goal. And it was deflected behind. It will be a Liverpool corner.
Yeah, it looked like Liverpool had resulted back to a back 3 there. And you could see that they were a little bit more comfortable, so I don't know if that's been a change of system by the manager in terms of going back to what they know, with Lily Woodham going higher and trying to maybe match Aston Villa in the way that they're playing. maybe, or maybe it was just for that one section of play. But I think for them to go into that again, just go back to something that you're a little bit more comfortable with.
What it has done is it's forced another corner. This one to be delivered by Lucy Parry. Plenty of height on that one. Clark will look to attack, couldn't make the connection at the far post. Kendall will clear, one back by Woodham. Her delivery this time, away by Patton.
One thing with the set piece there, Gemma Evans was on the edge of the box instead of being in the box. You would expect probably your centre-back to be one of the players who are in the box trying to win the ball.
Look at Grant, look at the pace on that right-hand side. She'll go for goal too, but that one is a fairly routine stop for Kirby. But goodness me, she can shift through the gears.
Yeah, very fast. I think here she takes her touch inside maybe and eliminates the Liverpool recovering defender maybe. I think her touch goes too wide. I think if she tries to come back inside, it's a lot easier, or she can wait for people to come back up. It's highly unlikely you're going to score from that kind of angle, but yeah, you can see this pace that she's got, and you just have to put the ball in behind there, and she's going to win it.
Parry looking to get Aston Villa turned and facing their own goal again. But I wonder what the instruction is now, Fran, because if I'm on the pitch as an Aston Villa player and I've just seen my right winger run about 60 metres flat out past a number of Liverpool players, surely get the ball out to her more.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to use people's strengths. You have to see what's the game giving you. And if I'm seeing my winger constantly win that race, I'm saying every time I get the ball in this pace, you just need to take off. You need to run, and I'll find you in them areas. And she's definitely got the pace to do it.
You notice Woodham has certainly retreated a bit now to just help out Gemma Evans on that side.
Really expansive centre-backs. The gap, you can see Faye Kirby can come higher and higher with the ball. But now if they lose it here, the space in between both of them, because they're not tucking in, is massive.
There is a sharp intake of breath every time Faye Kirby gets the ball, especially when her defenders have made that split. But they're persistent. They want to play this way.
Seems the higher they go, they change into that back three, and Woodham stays higher. When they're building from the goalkeeper, it looks more like a back four, and then as they come higher, they're going into that back three to allow them to have probably more options higher up the pitch.
See Woodham just about making it into your screen now. Hugging that touchline and trying to offer an out ball on the left-hand side. Lucy Parry much more conservative on this near touchline. Here she is now. Kiernan. Won't be happy to show her inside. Here's Nagano. Cavox gets the better of Maltby. Grant well placed to clear. Daly can head that one that bit further away from danger. More directs from Clark this time. Villa have a player down. And play will be stopped as the Villa player does have what looks to be a head injury. Looks to be an impact injury for Anna Patton. course, they do have plenty of options on the bench, Aston Villa. Defensively, but also going forward as well. You see Sarah Mailing in the background, Georgia Mullets, Lucy Staniforth, and Missy Beaucairns, of course, now back into the side. There will be 2 minutes added on, but of course we have just had and are currently experiencing another stoppage, so expect that to be a bit longer than the 2 officially. The concussion protocol has been completed by Aston Villa's medical team. One of those that you can't be too safe about, but let's take a look at the 2 goals that have given Aston Villa the lead in this game, and it was a rapid start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just miscommunication here. I think Gemma Evans, you just have to clear it. If you're in any doubt at all, unless she's heard a massive scream there from the goalkeeper, she just has to get rid of it and just clear it into the area.
And again, just benefiting there from Rachel Daly, colliding in midfield, and Grant looked up, she spotted Kirsty Hansen, and Hansen once again comes back to haunt Liverpool, and it has made Natalia Arroyo the happier of the 2 managers as we approach half-time here at Villa Park. Kiernan, head down to the byline. Plucked out of the air. Sabrina D'Angelo, who's rightly claimed that the ball had already crossed that line.
Yeah, she just overran it there. I think she can drive down the line, but then I think she has to come back out for a set to deliver. And it was a perfect opportunity there for them to get the ball into the box. Obviously, with Villa losing Anna Patton, I think they needed to work it out a little bit better to get a good cross into the box and also get numbers into the box.
And there's a bit of a change. One of these 2 sides going long from a goal kick. And Anna Patton is restored to the Villa back line. Plenty for Gareth Taylor to address at the interval, you'd expect, Fran.
Yeah, definitely. I think they definitely look more comfortable when they get the ball higher and they have a bit more of retained possession, but they still can be a little bit calmer, and obviously defensively they need to work out this communication, who's jumping when, who's going to deal with Rachel Daly, because I think she's causing them a little bit of problems. But you know, the way that Villa transition, it's very, very difficult to defend against, so in them moments you just have to find a way to stop allowing them to transition as much as they have been.
Bit late there from Rachel Daly on Lily Woodham. No hard feelings between the 2. Forward it goes. This will be the final attack of this first half. Jenna Clark trying to find a way around Lucy Parker. Well, so far, so good for Aston Villa. Liverpool, though, have a mountain to climb at Villa Park in the second half, but they only have themselves to blame. Rachel Daly capitalising on a very early mistake inside the opening first minute to slot into the empty net before Kirsty Hansen once more haunted Liverpool to grab Aston Villa's second on the half-hour mark. Means that at half-time here, it's Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 0. Something a bit different from Liverpool compared with what we're used to seeing from them, where they typically send it long direct from kickoff to try to gain a bit of territory. I guess similar to how some rugby teams start matches. It's been won back by Lucia Kendall. And there is the confirmation of the half-time change from Aston Villa. Kirsty Hansen off, Ebony Salmon on, and it's Salmon there who was getting stuck in nice and early into this second half. Parker finding Kendall, of course scored on her England debut over the international break.
These are the moments where Liverpool have to be more composed. They've won the ball back, they've worked really hard. That first pass, it has to stick. You can't play it that you're going to turn the ball over again against Aston Villa, because that is what they want and that is what they're really, really good at. So when you do win that ball, you have to maintain that you keep possession of the ball, because as soon as you turn it over again, the sprinters, they're off.
And they have bags of pace up front. Ebony Salmon just making it even faster. Kirsty Hansen's no slouch, of course. And we saw Chastity Grant did in the first half on the right-hand side, blitzing through. Be interesting to see whether Liverpool start to move their line a bit higher up as they begin to chase this game. And those spaces do begin to emerge that will suit the way that Aston Villa want to take the game to them.
Aston Villa look really, really structured out of possession. You can see that they're moving, they're dealing with the half spaces. They just look set every time that Liverpool have the ball, and they're making it really, really difficult for them to play through.
They did have a very strong period earlier this season, Aston Villa. OK, maybe they didn't pick up as many victories as they wanted to, but Natalia Arroyo says that beating Liverpool can help them create a winning culture in the BWSL this evening. They sit 8th in the table, just 2 wins and 4 draws from their opening 9 matches. They've performed very well, actually, against the top 4 sides within the division. Holding European champions Arsenal 1-1 away from home before beating Manchester United away as well. Arroyo was tasked her side with showing that same level of winning desire against the teams below them, starting tonight with Liverpool. She says it's important for them to be able to win games and build pressure without the fear of losing, which is such a key component in the psychology that goes into football, Fran. Yeah,
absolutely. You always go out to every game to try and win, but obviously you know as well with the league and the teams that you have to play against, there's going to be some games where you know you're going to have to suffer without the ball. But I mean, these kind of games, these are the games that you're looking at going, right, okay, let's try and pick up 3 points here. But after watching Aston Villa this season so far, you know, they've caused a lot of problems for them teams. Obviously, even Chelsea, when they played Chelsea here, they had a lot of chances in the first half. So, you know, they are building something, and yes, maybe they don't have all the results to show for it, but they are building.
They look to build from this free kick as well, going short to get Patton involved. Salmon round the corner, it's clever, it's so clever. Hijikata off the frame of the goal. It was wonderfully worked, that routine, right from the training grounds, and they were so close to adding a third.
It's really, really nice play. 1-2 touch here, little pass round the corner. I think here she looks up and she doesn't see anyone running across the box. I think that's, you know, that line there that she can put it into, but she doesn't see anyone. She takes the shot, but I think for an Aston Villa player, they have to make that run so she can just a simple pass across for a tap-in. Everyone kind of came back for the cutback, so they have to get in them areas.
She is always an animated figure on the touchline, Natalia Arroyo. Really, really big personality behind the scenes. You see her just crouched down inside the technical area. She kicks every single ball. She'll be pleased with what she's seen so far, but she'll know the job isn't done just yet. And of course, with a huge game on the weekend against current league leaders Manchester City, this is an opportunity for them to refine and tweak and grow in confidence and momentum to hopefully spoil the party that the citizens are currently having at the top of the league.
Yeah, it's always nice to go into them fixtures off the back of a win, so you have a little bit of confidence going into it. You know that you're difficult to play against, and you can know that you can use your strengths. And I think that's one thing that Aston Villa do really, really well. They don't try and be something that they're not. They use their strengths. They know that they're good in transition. They know they have the pace. They know that if they just keep putting them in them areas, they're going to get something from the game.
Here's Evans. Clark can step out of defence, but Aston Villa are just doing so well to block the channels and the spaces and just make it so stodgy and difficult in that midfield area.
They know that's what Liverpool wants. The way that Liverpool have been playing, the way that they set up, they know that they want to play them inside passes, so they're making it really difficult to play between them lines. I don't think it'll be very long until we see someone like Kerry Holland coming in and trying to create something in that midfield or even from the outside of the pitch, but Aston Villa are defending very, very well, and they're closing the players that Liverpool want on the ball.
Making it really difficult for the likes of Fuka Nagano to get involved, but she found a pocket of space there, and now Liverpool can try their luck down the right-hand side with Kiernan. Parker in the way at the near post. And Patton will eventually sweep that one away, which Clark had to watch carefully under the threat of Ebony Salmon. Woodham, infield, that's better by Kirsty McLean, just trying to offer the attacking run from midfield, but she was out-muscled quite comprehensively by Noelle Maritz.
Yeah, you can see Liverpool are much more comfortable when they go into that back three, and the wing backs are higher, and then Enderby can come inside more and create more of an extra 10 in them areas, which is causing a little bit of problems as they're getting higher up the pitch.
Nagano having to drop a long way deep just to get herself in possession. We know that Liverpool like to use her as their metronome in midfield.
One thing you have as well when you are playing with the wing backs is you're pinning Chastity Grant, so she's down the pitch rather than higher. When you lose it, it's more distance for her to sprint forward to try and create that transition. So the higher Lily Woodham can go, the more she's saying to her, come on then, are you going to come back with me, or are you going to cheat? If you cheat, then I'm free. So I think the higher Lily Woodham goes, the more she pins Grant back. It's going to be a positive for Liverpool in terms of the transition.
It is a very, very fine balancing act that Liverpool are having to play here. They want to get themselves back into this game. They want to be able to commit players forward, but as Fran rightly points out, if they do take one risk too many, they leave themselves vulnerable at the back once more. This time ball into the path of Salmon, joined by Clark. Clark had to stand tall, and she did. Liverpool just needed to urge a bit more caution there when they had possession of the ball. No need to force it just yet.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough players high enough for Liverpool there. Even if the pass comes off, you're asking your forward player to hold the ball up against 3-4 players. It's starting to get a little bit sloppy now in possession. Both teams look a little bit more shaky on the ball. When they do have the time, they can just calm down on it.
There is some activity going on among the substitutes. Missy Beaucairns looks to be coming on against the side whose academy she came through. Childhood Liverpool fan, went on to make more than 100 appearances for her local side before joining Aston Villa in 2024. She's back from illness, having missed Tottenham last time out.
Yeah, she's someone who can just come in, calm down. She likes to get on the ball. She likes to be calm in their moments. So maybe that's what the manager feels right now that they need to do. They need to get someone in there who's just going to be a bit more calmer on the ball.
One back by Kiernan, but not legally. Believed to have used an arm there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a handball and her arm is away from the body, but it's an unfortunate one. You can't really do much about it.
And it's a frustration as well. But here is the Aston Villa change. So Lucy Parker, of course, just back from injury herself, gets a good 56 minutes under her belt. And that sees the introduction of Missy Beaucairns. Now, Miri Taylor has played at centre-back in a back three already this season, so it'll be interesting to see whether this is a change in system or whether it is Miri Taylor who drops deep, and indeed it is looking more like the latter.
I can't see them changing the formation when they're 2-0 up. I can't see them changing too much in terms of going into that back three kind of setup, but you never know. And yeah, Miri Taylor definitely, and you know, she's good on the ball as well, so when you have a centre-back who's able to do that, it definitely helps in your build.
So two former Reds now lining up for Villa against their old club. And as things stand, they will be leaving with the bragging rights as well. Tidy play initially by McLean, showed a bit too much of it to Hedgie Carter, but was strong in the challenge.
That pass there from Mia Enderby, it just needed to go in front so she could get away from it. With the pass going behind her to her back foot, makes it really difficult for her to get out of them areas.
Nagano. Kiernan. Liverpool readying a double change of their own. Evans. Punched forwards towards Kiernan. His cross was inviting, slightly too far ahead of play.
They do really well. They keep the ball, they move the ball around. It's a good pass out. Again, I don't think we need to cross so early. I think we can take our time, come back around, move Aston Villa a little bit and wait for one of them to step out and create more of a space for you.
Lucy Parry needs to be careful there. Wasn't happy with the awards of the throw-in to Aston Villa. Bit of dissent creeping in as the frustration continues to mount for the visitors.
Yeah, that's just the frustration, the emotion of the game.
So here are the changes then. Kirsty McLean leaving the field to be replaced by Sophie Lunga. And it is a timely return for the ever-industrious Kerry Holland. Replacing Lucy Parry, whose last action was a very visual display of frustration. Holland, for now, looks to be playing at right back. An hour on the clock. Liverpool yet to trouble Sabrina D'Angelo in this second half. They have looked far more assured in possession in these areas. They are still failing to make things happen in that final third. Diligent defending by Kendall.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Kerry Holland being the right side of centre-back. She's someone that you want to be driving forward.
Just as Chastity Grant is here. Salmon wanted the early pass. Keynes finds her now, and it's Daly. Keynes. Strong in the follow-up challenge.
Just a few forced passes starting to happen now. A bit of turnover. Sometimes you just have to go back to playing simple, keeping the ball, keep it moving. Don't try and force anything, especially with Villa now. They're suffering a little bit without the ball. They're inviting Liverpool to have it, which obviously you can do when you're 2-0 down, but when you win the ball, just keep it. Keep the ball, keep Liverpool running, and then they'll open up the spaces. But at the moment, they're trying to thread these passes through that are just getting intercepted and just giving Liverpool back the ball.
And back by Keynes. Here's Lunga. Out for Kerry Holland, who, as we pointed out, is playing incredibly deep, having come onto this game with Liverpool chasing. She has scored 6 times in the competition for Liverpool, Kerry Holland. 4 of those have come against your Brighton and Hove Albion, Fran. Player you're probably sick of the sight of.
You can see why I'm saying that I wanted to be higher up the pitch. I just wonder if there's a thing that they're thinking, maybe grow her into the game and then they'll change a formation which allows her to be more higher up the pitch when they're maybe chasing a little bit more frantically, because I think she's someone that you want to be getting the ball higher, you want her to be driving and going forward. So it's interesting for me that she's playing that low back, but they're hoping probably that they'll be able to push her up higher.
Player who has just returned from a knock of her own, picked up on international duty where she did record her 50th cap for Wales. Well, you identified her ahead of kickoff, didn't you, Fran? And Chastity Grant has been all over the place on that right-hand side, crucially setting up Aston Villa's second goal too.
Yeah, you know, the pace that she has and the understanding. She's been a little bit more quiet this second half in terms of that output, but You know, you don't have to do it every single time, but she's someone that, if they wanted to, I reckon they could put it into that area all the time and she'd win that race. So, yeah, you can understand why it's been a little bit more quiet for her in the second half, but she did her damage in the first half.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch, Villa's left wing back, Mitchell Maltby, the receiving end of a league challenge from Kerry Holland. Very kindly there for Hijikata. There's another slip in defence, this time by Woodham. Salmon unable to profit. Enderby. Well read by Lucia Kendall. Has the presence of mind in those tight areas to be able to turn. Put Aston Villa back on the front foot. They've been clinical, haven't they? But even just looking at the shots on target, Liverpool just haven't troubled D'Angelo this evening. Although they might be able to conjure something up from this corner kick.
Yeah, they have to make one of these count. They had a couple of corners in the first half, and now has to be a good delivery. You have to win the first contact. I think we saw at half-time, you know, Aston Villa were dominating the aerial first and second, so this is a really important moment for Liverpool, and if they get a goal here or they make something happen here and build a little bit more momentum, it'll give them a better feeling going into the last 20+ minutes.
Clark and Capox at the far post, Enderby occupying D'Angelo. In it comes from Woodham. D'Angelo chose to punch, did just enough to get that one out of the danger zone. She'd love to keep a clean sheet this evening. West Ham United, Leicester and Manchester United she shut out this season in the Women's Super League. There's a run of 3 clean sheets in 4 BWSL games. She has conceded 5 in the last 2 combined. She's had a much quieter night this time around. Stolen back by Missy Beaucairns. Look at the space here for Grant, who wanted the ball a bit further ahead of her. She had to break her stride somewhat, and that really did disrupt her rhythm.
Yeah, it's just the decision making there. It's the right decision, poor execution, but I still think there she can see that the defender's dropping, so she can just keep driving with the ball, and she might even be able to use the run of Salmon to make sure that she goes towards goal rather than away from it.
Good tracking back initially by Missy Beaucairns, but it was a rather cynical challenge in the end on Fukunagano. There was also another yellow card there for dissent. Lily Woodham. It was, so she's also gone into the book. Capox. Holland turns away from Daly. Now Evans. Nagano. Holland, bit of space for her to roam into. Cross took a deflection, it's going to be another Liverpool corner.
They're moving it around the box a little bit more. They're going from side to side, which is creating the space for Holland when she comes in and she can slide in. And at the beginning it was just out wide and cross, whereas now they're coming back around. They're moving Aston Villa. Again, have to make sure it's a good delivery. They have been good deliveries, they just need to get a first contact.
Woodham again takes responsibility. This one deeper, Capox, and it was blocked inside the 6-yard box by Miri Taylor. Half-hearted appeals for handball. Once again, that's blocked in behind for a Liverpool corner. Well, maybe those appeals weren't as far-fetched as initially we thought. It was a slightly lower delivery this time, which managed to make its way all the way through. It was glanced on. It got a final touch from a Villa player, so a third corner in a row for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a good ball. You never know when someone gets a flick on at the front post. You don't know where the ball's going to end up, so it's a really, really good delivery.
Rachel Daly it was who glanced that one on, perhaps without her knowledge. Woodham again. Hangs that one right onto the head of Sabrina D'Angelo, who did so well. She was strong and commanding inside her 6-yard box. Yeah,
really good. The way that she handles the ball, I think you see many goalkeepers now try and punch it, try and clear it, but she took control of the situation.
Grant looking ahead of her for Salmon. What a challenge that was. Needed to time that to perfection, Jenna Clark, and she did just that.
I think that sums up Aston Villa. I think, you know, Liverpool have 3 corners in a row. They break, they're able to get into Liverpool's box and win a corner by themselves in the transition. I think that just sums them up perfectly in terms of the type of players that they have, the way that they want to play, and, you know, the pace that they have going forward. And every team stresses about it.
Villa will use this as an opportunity to freshen things up, and it's Rachel Maltby leaving the field to be replaced by their number 3, Paola Thomas, someone who, Fran, you've had many a physical encounter with.
Yeah, she's a really aggressive player. She wants to get involved in the fight, which maybe looking at it, Aston Villa see this more as we want to see this game out.
Kendall's delivery this time. Thomas had just come onto the pitch. It was angled in her direction. Miri Taylor will keep things alive. Here is Paola Thomas. Play by Hijikata. Salmon's delivery in, and Liverpool were fairly confident that Chastity Grant wasn't going to get there, but she was certainly making up the yards.
Yeah, it was a great ball from Ebony Salmon. Again, does she need to play it? But I mean, I think the Liverpool players had just lost where Grant was, and they probably thought that it was clearly going out. But I think if she had been there a little bit earlier, she could have probably got a toe onto that. But
I think the travelling Liverpool fans are probably right to ask the question. With 15 minutes on the clock, there perhaps could be a bit more urgency with Faye Kirby's distribution. Ultimately, Villa have won it back through Miri Taylor.
Yeah, it's really good play there by Miri Taylor, winning the ball back, holding it up. But of course, you know, if you're Aston Villa and the Liverpool goalkeeper has the ball, you're happy for her to have it. She can have the ball, no problem, if you're not going to cause us a problem. But it's really strong play there from Miri Taylor. Wins the ball, keeps it for her team.
Perhaps even the instruction from Natalia Arroyo to her strikers, like you would be out there, Fran, perhaps just hold off, like let her have it, because
you don't have to chase anything. They don't have to chase anything now, Aston Villa. They just need to be defensively solid, look after it. Liverpool are the one that now have to bring a little bit more urgency to their play. Urgency in the press, urgency in the way that they're playing.
But instead, it's Villa going direct again, and Clark made up the ground really well there, and Salmon very apologetic to the stand-in Liverpool captain.
Yeah, it's a bad touch there from Salmon. I think she doesn't need to take it with her left foot. I think she can let the ball run across her, take it with her right foot and head towards goal. I think the touch kills the momentum for her there, and then it's a great recovery by Jenna Clark to get back in.
Someone so tall, she is very quick across the ground as well, Jenna Clark. At times on the weekend just gone, it did feel like she was almost defending by herself, not because her teammates weren't putting in the effort, but just because she seemed to be everywhere across the back line. It's shaping up to be yet another disappointing outing for her and her Liverpool teammates. Their 10th BWSL game of the season, and as we are into the final 15 minutes here, it looks as though they will be extending their run to 10 without a win in the top flights of women's football. It might get worse. Here's Salmon, pushed away by Kirby, but pounced upon by Rachel Daly. And the player who got the scoring up and running is able to add the cherry on top.
It's great play by Aston Villa, but again, Liverpool causing their own problems with the style of play. You can see that they are believing in the manager and what he wants to do, but they turn the ball over. It's a great pass from Missy Bokearns. Ebony Salmon's taken a strike from distance, parried into a dangerous area. She hasn't got enough away from the player, who's Rachel Daly, who's going to be pouncing in their moments here. Turn the ball over, strike. It's a good save. Maybe I'm being a bit more critical. Could she have tried to get it further away so it doesn't fall straight into the path of Rachel Daly? Maybe she sees it late, it goes between the legs, but that's what Rachel Daly does. She's in the right areas. She wants to get in them positions, and she wins the ball first.
Just like that, she's gone from no goals in the Barclays Women's Super League this season to 2. And there is a spring in her step as well, the Aston Villa skipper. Coincidentally, it's the 3rd time in the last 6 games that Aston Villa have scored 3 goals. The previous 2 times, well, they've drawn 3-3. Unless there is a drastic change in this evening's proceedings, you would imagine they are safe to assume that these 3 goals will lead to 3 points.
I think tonight Rachel Daly has just looked so bright in everything that she's done. Her link-up play, her one touches around the corner, obviously getting on the score sheet, which we know is what she's capable of, but she's really dropped into them pockets and made it really, really tough for Liverpool to know, okay, who's going in with her, who's stepping with her, who's going to make it difficult. And, you know, her work rate off the ball as well. She's been the one leading the line. And, yeah, I think today, in terms of her link-up play, her making herself available, finding them spaces, I think that's been one of the big differences tonight for Aston Villa.
Well, there will be a very loud noise in a couple of moments, because we are about to see the return Lucy Staniforth to the BWSL. It's been a while. She is back and going to get the final 10 minutes. So too is Sarah Mayling. First, Liverpool will attack. easy claim. Sabrina D'Angelo gave a very clear call. And defenders were happy to allow the Canadian to take full control of that situation.
I just don't feel that they've changed it up at all, Liverpool. I think we've seen the same kind of passage of play every time going out wide to Liang Kin, and the crosses, they just haven't gone to any Liverpool player.
When they have passed like this, it has tended to go to those in an Aston Villa shirt. You can't blame Rachel Daly, who is on a hat-trick, of course, for trying her luck at this late stage in the game. And that will be the invitation for Villa to make these substitutes, and you can see a very happy figure in the background, Natalia Arroyo, even breaking into a little dance there. So Lucia Kendall leaving the fields. Welcome back, Lucy Staniforth. Look at the smile on her face, lovely to see. And Sarah Mailing coming on. A like-for-like substitution on the right-hand side for Chastity Grant.
Yeah, it's never nice to be out with injuries and be out for such a long time. So when you do get back on the pitch, it is special. It's a really nice moment, and be able to come into a game that, you know, you're looking at it going 3-0. Of course, it's not completely finished, but you're not expected to come in and change the game or change the way that your team is playing. And Lucy Staniforth is someone who's a very technical player. She's very calm and composed on the ball. So coming into this game, she probably won't stress too much about the performance. She'll just be happy to be back on the pitch.
And how valuable as well for these Villa players heading into the new year, when we know that typically Villa aren't strong finishers in the campaign, to have someone with that level of experience as well on the pitch to see them out through these games.
Yeah, it's really important, and you realise when you lose them players, the players who have a bit more experience, the players who are able to come into this game and go, right, okay, let's calm it down now, let's just see the game out, do what we need to do. And she's that kind of player, and yeah, she's been in the BWSL now for such a long time, and she knows what it takes. And like I said, she's also a very, very good technical player, and she's someone that you want to have in your midfield, especially in moments like this, and also when you're going into further along into the league, and someone that you just need in there who's going to pull the team through.
Well, next on their list of things to achieve today would be a clean sheet. They're already heading towards their first win of the season at home in the BWSL as this ball comes in. Can they wrap it up with a clean sheet too? Oh, that one was dipping. D'Angelo seemed confident enough. Where next for Gareth Taylor? 10 games without a win.
I think one thing you can see with Liverpool is they are believing in the way that he wants to play. They're not changing it. They want to build on what they're doing, which, you know, as a team, you want to become comfortable with what your manager is doing, but they're in a really, really difficult position at the moment. And obviously now it makes Sunday a must-win for both teams who are playing on Sunday. So it's not just, you know, about Liverpool, also West Ham having to get them points as well. But you can see that they're still trying to do the way that Gareth Taylor wants to play, and it's caused them trouble tonight, but you can see that they're believing in what he wants to do, and as a manager he's probably happy with that, although the results are not going their way.
A really tough end to the calendar year. Anything other than 3 points against West Ham United away on Sunday is going to lead to very difficult starts to 2025. And then after that they have the small matter of the Subway Women's League Cup quarter-final at home to Chelsea on December 19th. So, very difficult And they begin the new year at home to London City Lionesses as well, a side who have plenty to prove in the division this season, and who inflicted a very, very late 1-0 win over them earlier in the season. A bit more of a break for Aston Villa. This is their final game at Villa Park this calendar year. They do head to the league leaders Manchester City on Sunday. And then they kick off the new year on January the 11th by hosting Frank Kirby and her Brighton and Hove Albion teammates, before Manchester United visit Villa Park, desperate for revenge following the 1-0 defeats in Manchester.
I think the one thing that a lot of the teams are going to see is the way that they play, the way they want to play, and trying to nullify that transition. It's going to be really tough for a lot of teams, and Man City will be sitting there watching this game thinking, how are we going to do it? How are we going to make it difficult for them? And I think the way that you can do that is just being clever when you have possession, when you have the ball. Try and pull them back as much as you can. Don't lose the ball so early in the final third. Look after it.
I suppose it's probably quite useful for Brighton, having you doing your own scouting mission this evening, Fran. Missy Bokans reading the passes, and look at the weight of pass on that. Daly looking for Ebony Salmon. Too many Liverpool players blocking the route through to goal, and Missy Bokans went for the spectacular. Of course, saw a sensational overhead kick from Shakira Martinez for West Ham United. And Rachel Daly got Aston Villa off to the perfect start, didn't she, inside the opening minutes, and then she was on hand to follow up there. And that is Frank Kirby, why you have named her your Barclays player of the match this evening.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's not just the goals, because I think she's in the right place at the right time for the goals, but I think her overall play, what she's given to the team in terms of her link-up play, the little touches around the corner, the work rate that she's done, you know, and I think she's been the leading figure for the team. It was close, I think, between three players. I would say her, Chastity Grant, and I think Miri Taylor as well has had a really, really good game tonight. But I think just the way that she's been on and off the ball, and of course scoring the goals, but I think it's much more than the goals tonight in terms of her performance.
2 shots on target, 2 goals. But here's her industry, and the way that she leads by example on the pitch as well. Still at this late stage, leading the press, forcing Liverpool into going long, although perhaps you could argue that's exactly what Olsen wants. She has been deprived of service this evening, the Swede.
Those are the moments you have to harm teams. You've turned the ball over, you have to play that pass forward. You can't turn around. Yes, okay, the game is gone probably from Liverpool, but those are the habits that you have to get into. When a team turns the ball over, how can you harm them? You could see there was 3 Liverpool players in the middle of the pitch, and as soon as she turned around, you could see their reaction of, why did you not pass the ball forward?
This time Lungard has picked out Holland in a bit of space on that right-hand side. Kiernan, Holland on the underlapping run. That's a great ball in, actually. It's inviting, looking at that near post for Beata Olsen.
But that's the energy that Kerry Holland brings going forward. She wants to drive, she wants to get into the areas. I'm just looking at Liverpool's front players, and I'm going, do they have the players for that type of cross?
That's going to stay in. Missy Cairns spotted Sabrina D'Angelo. Oh, sorry, Faye Kirby, I should say, a long way off her line. Just like the execution.
Yeah, I think with the game being the way it is, I think she just decided she's going to go for it. I think if it was a 1-0, you would have been absolutely raging at her if she didn't take it to the corner in them moments, but I think they have a little bit of breathing space. Alejandra
Bernabé played the final few moments of the defeat at Arsenal last time out. She tried to shore up the bat. This one's going to be a much more hostile atmosphere to come on to. As 4 minutes are added on. She replaces Lily Woodham, left back. Staniforth. Mailing in field for Cairns, whose pass was read by Capox.
She has to go out the other way. They've done so well to get the ball out of this area. You have to look to the other side of the pitch. Yes, the runs are good, but don't always have to play the first run. You can sometimes switch the ball and use that run as a decoy so you can use other spaces. I think in that moment, Missy Cairns, she has to go out the other way.
Paula Thomas was screaming for it, just as she is now. Desperately wanting the ball on the touchline. It was her nice little touch there, which has earned Aston Villa free kick.
As always with this, your support of Villa Park this evening. Thank you.
Scored twice in the first half, Aston Villa. This an opportunity to score twice in the second too.
If there's someone you want on a set piece, it's probably Lucy Staniforth, but now I've said that, she's probably going to hit on the first player.
Not sure she can hear you from here, Fran, but we'll see what she can whip in. That one's going to trouble Kirby. Coming off the frame of the goal. We'll have a better idea, Fran, as to whether she meant that or whether that was an overhit cross, but it certainly had Faye Kirby panicking in the Liverpool goal.
Yeah, I don't think that was a shot on goal, but I think she knows if she puts it in the right areas, it's got a good chance of someone getting on the end of it or even scoring herself.
Would have been a dream return to BWSL action for Staniforth. Paula Thomas. And here's another look at that free kick. Very nearly catching the Liverpool keeper off guard.
I mean, it looked like all our other players thought that it was a shot because none of them followed in, so...
Just under a minute left to play here at Villa Park. Your reflections on this evening's game, Fran?
I think it's been a tough night for Liverpool. I think even though they've looked a little bit more comfortable in possession in some moments, they just haven't quite had enough. And I think with the way that Villa play, the transitions, there was just too many goals tonight that I think Liverpool could have prevented if it was communication, if it was positioning, if it was understanding of where you want to be. But I just don't think going forward they've had enough in terms of the final product. But I think Aston Villa defensively have been very, very solid in the way they've played. They made it really difficult for Liverpool to play through the lines, and of course getting a clean sheet as well is really, really important for them.
They will be given one final chance, Liverpool, to try to register a shot on target this evening. Kerry Holland stands over this one.
still finding it very interesting that Gemma Evans, the centre-back, is not getting involved in set pieces.
He goes towards Leanne Kiernan. And that is it, as Aston Villa end their three-game run. Three-game wait, I should say, for a win in the Women's Super League, and inflicts further misery on Gareth Taylor and Liverpool, who are sentenced to their 8th WSL defeats this season. 3 goals it was by Natalia Arroyo's side, and a big 3 points for them as well, as they bounce back in style. A brace from Rachel Daly, a goal scored either side of Kirsty Hansen, who was able to slot home against Liverpool. Yet again, a 4th time that she has found the back of the nets in her last 5 BWSL outings against the Reds. It means Liverpool go into the weekend showdown against West Ham United absolutely desperate for victory, whereas Villa are full of momentum heading into their weekend's clash against league leaders Manchester City. Full time here at Villa Park is Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 0.